Hey guys, what's going on? Guys and girls and all out there. Anyone who wants to listen to a message that comes from the heart and it's a nice timeline event tonight. Got a good one for you, and it's just amazing the amount of growth that's going on. And I've been reading a lot, pretty much lately in Genesis. And I've got this modern book with commentary or modern commentary and Torah. It's got Hebrew in it, but I haven't learned any Hebrew really. But anyway, it's been really interesting. It's got excerpts and different stories and storylines, parallels, and other tales from other cultures like Midrash, Mishnah, and there's a little difference between those, but not an expert on that. That's something I just learned today, somewhat. But there's all kinds of information out there that overlaps in Sumerian culture, Egyptian culture, Babylonian, and all these ties and overlaps. It's been recorded and it's accepted as some as history, and there's biblical history and secular. But to me, it's all it's all God history, and it's the God of love, and that's the important thing to keep in mind. It's God of love, and may not understand how it all works, and no one's gonna understand how it all works except for God. Just gotta have trust and faith. And anyway, I'll flip this around and show you some of this timeline. Some of it's really small writing and not the best, but I'll try and be slow, and I'll just take a look here. That is my penny bank, actually, old times. But got a chart here of the patriarchs, they call them. Basically, that this chart doesn't correlate with the actual dates up there. There's just more room over here because I haven't really filled this part in because not really a whole lot recorded here that I know of, and haven't researched more that's biblical really. But we did get down to some Egyptian building pyramids and whatnot, and different dynasties I filled in to but get down farther to 2000 BC, where basically a lot goes on. We have this third revealed truth from Mashavente Melchizedek, and he's basically one of the orders of sons that was created by our creator's son Michael. And um, in the Bible, it talks to him as a sage of Salem or a king of righteousness. He's mentioned in Genesis and a lot in Hebrews. And Abraham basically gives him a tenth of Abraham's spoils from his conquests as an old man, supposedly, and whatnot. But they also lived, a lot longer, and were a part of a stronger line of individuals. I understand with the staff, Prince's 100 and the Abneed's progeny in their uplift and biological help there with being 8 foot tall also and whatnot. But I've got a bunch of stuff. They had like actual 7 commandments that parallel some of ours. Basically a bunch of thou shalt, you shall not, and it's basically people want to know, well, how come there's a bunch of you should not do this, you should not do that, and it doesn't really line up with today and whatnot. And it's, well, sometimes the way it's explained is there's revealed religion and evolutionary religion. And the evolutionary religion started with really primitive men and believing in whatever to get him by the day, that make him have a good day or not, or whatever charm or whatnot. And you can believe whatever, but I'm sure people still carry them beliefs today, the superstitions, and even say bless you after you sneeze, and people can get really mad if you don't say something like bless you or kazunite or whatnot. But anyway, so this time when the third revealed truth was going on down here on the planet was, I've got it at 1980 BC to 1886, basically 94 years. And at this time, Abraham went to these schools that were set up by the sage of Salem. This first known instance of where Jerusalem comes in, or Salem, and peace also is involved in the word. As like also Shaul, Sheo, UL, or you don't have to put the U in there, I guess, also, but different ways of spelling the same concept, same words, just different ways and different cultures hand it down, pass it down orally, written, and things get distorted, messed up, and it's one reason that things aren't written down directly by Jesus himself. And then when anything distorted only by his teaching of love, and uh, I don't know the rules and everything perfectly, but my heart tells me, and it's just filled, overflowing. So I got to tell people. But anyway, so Abraham went to school like three different times, and it's interesting reading this book. It suggests that there's a story not in the Bible, obviously, but when Abraham was younger and his father was supposedly a dealer in idols, and at one time I imagine in my mind that Abraham coming home from like his first session of school or second maybe, or if he had to go there for a couple weeks. I mean, who knows what kind of school it was? He went there for a couple weeks, or you journeyed or whatever. I don't know if it, whatnot, but anyway, they were living up in around that time or whatever, and he might have went there for a 3 week session or who knows, but it's not really specific on that. But anyway, so I imagine now when he says this story that he comes home and all of his dad's idols are broken, like all his items that he sells, his merchandise, and his dad's like, who broke all these idols? Who broke all the gods? Basically, and Abraham points over the one that's not broke. He's like, that chief one right there broke them all. And his dad's like, you know very well that he don't move and they're just clay. And he's like, so Abraham says, well, then why do you adorn them so or whatnot? But so I think imagine that's when he's like, go forth and make your own fortune. It's time for you to do something else, and you got these ideas, and that's where Abraham went. He went forth and spread these ideas that he was taught by this third revealed truth, Master Vinci Melchizedek, and basically that's in my mind that's how this covenant started and whatnot, and Abraham giving him a tenth of the spoils. It's been suggested he was some pagan king, but he was, and the Bible says also he didn't have a genealogy, no mother or father line, and doesn't really say when he showed up or what exactly his mission was, but that he was uh, in good favor with Abraham for sure. And at this time, this 94 years of being on the planet as an emergency son to keep the truth alive, Abraham picked it up, and that's how we got it kind of distorted from there. And as far as what you got to do to win God's favor, and that's not how it is. It's just through love and fatherhood of God, and then the brotherhood of man. That's what it is. And some things get distorted, it's like Abraham being chosen, everything's a chosen, but that's the same concept saying that if you want to believe or not, there's lots of other planets out there, potential habited life, and to say that there's not is just the same concepts that we're the only chosen planet that could have people on it that can have God's love, and that's just an arrogant human thing to say. But to me, that's not how it is. In the vast universes that even our instruments have showed us, there is so much more out there, so much more. And I've always been a puzzle solver, and one of my babysitters was a puzzle that I put together and whatnot. And I want to come down here a little farther, maybe get off topic. But so we got basically down here. This I want to talk about the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ, and says he was born here August 21st, 7 BC in my scroll. But got a couple different books where it suggests that, and this one is old one that suggests that Luna, get out of the way, dude. that at his latest possible date he could have been born. It's either latest possible. BC 4, and this book is old, like 100 years old. I don't know, it doesn't have a date in it, but it's super old. You can kind of see here, boom boom. I don't know, I didn't really look for a date, but there's some writing, and just online, whatever, but pretty awesome. It's got this timeline in the back and stuff. Just stuff I was looking for to help correlate everything, and anyway, my grandfather gave me his book. He can't read anymore because he's old and his eyes are bad, and it suggests, that the year Jesus possibly was born 4 or 5 BC. So even in our holy books, there's some progression on what's acceptable and not the latest possible date. And even this book was written copyright in 71. So I mean, well, now you can look. It's Thompson Chain reference. Pretty nice Bible. It's awesome. Well, it was a gift to my grandfather from one of his friends. I mean, and it's just an awesome book for me to learn from, and has a lot of God's truth in it and whatnot. So I said 70, but it's like 80. But anyway, it's older too. But back to over here, what I've written down is just references and stuff to help fill in the gaps and get my mindset on how things work. Because I'm a puzzler, I'm a puzzle solver. And I love this stuff, and I got a 9,000 piece puzzle. I built this whole giant table to do on because 9,000 pieces. It's so hard to actually get tabletop to put that big a piece of puzzles on. 6.5 6.25 foot long and 4.5 feet tall, sorry. But anyway, like this. Alright, there's a lot of shaky. I got a lot of talking going on, but anyway, so it really doesn't matter the time when he was born or whatever, but there was the cosmological evidence too, and that's harder to define, to go back to when that actually conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter took place, and that's what I've come to believe or understand is what is the star that was seen, and then it was actually seen like three times there, where I have it conjunction Jupiter and Saturn, also on September 29th and December 5th, and this thing it happens like suppose every 20 years, and there's a cycle where it happens every three times in a 12-month period, but there's like 3 different logarithms to determine that actual conjunction, how it fits, and I don't know if there's been a long enough time that humans been recording it to know how accurate it is, and that's the problem. You look online, and maybe you can figure it out if you're more of a math wizard. I haven't gone down that route yet. Mila, nice, pretty girl, yeah. Kitties are loving outside here. All right, okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I love the kitties so much. But anyway, got some really awesome stuff here, and like saying the time that really, I mean, if that matters to you, you gotta have everything. I thought that's how I was, but what matters is that I found in the heart what really matters. And there's this nice poem right up here. I'll come up closer. I'm really leaning here to get there, but this is in that Urantia book that supposedly this poem written before Jesus was born. But this is something my cousin wrote, because we've been writing on each other's scrolls or whatever, and also got Jesus' brothers and the sisters that are mentioned in Mark chapter 6 verse 3, the Holy Bible, and a good book, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. I love it so much, and some different names they went by. I mean, with history and things getting converted to Latin, and from there, Greek to Latin, and New Testament, and Hebrew to Greek, and there's some Aramaic and all kinds of languages now that the word of the Lord is into. So every language can be heard. Everyone can hear the word of the Lord, and a lot of people are losing sight, and they just don't get it. They're like walking around like zombies, and it's like this scroll can go however long, and we got 25 AD, but nothing's going on yet. And present year here, when I started writing this, and what are we going to record past there? More wars, more famines, and people just being wealthy and not spreading the love and just hoarding everything, when we can be teaching what it's like to be loving and knowing that gain the world, and where you at? You're controlling everything maybe here, but who's got control of everything for eternity? And that's God of love, and that's where I'm gonna put my allegiance in the God of love, no matter what. And maybe everyone watching this video think I'm crazy or whatever, but it's getting to the point where it's spilling out, and there's more people that just getting to that point. They get it, they understand. They've been blessed so much to have a heart filled so much you gotta share and whatnot. But really, I mean, it's so hard not to just tell people every time I see something like you gotta do this and you gotta listen. Not do whatever. You got your free will, but I've even got the 12 apostles here, and reading on them. There's some Greek there. Like it was like Petros for sure, meant rock, and so Cephas. This is Simon Peter, Andrew's brother, and uh, amazing stuff going on with these guys and how they came about, their story that is recorded somewhat in the Bibles and different names for them, whatnot. But the kids gonna come in here and got all written down, a little bio of them, whatnot. That information I found and it's correlated some. But this timeline is a never-ending until I end in this world and I'm done in this world, which then I don't think I can keep the same timeline. But I love history and love learning and got capacity in my mind to try and tie it all together. And now it's just about spreading that treasure, that eternal water, that well of water. And this guy, Judas, of course, he's the betrayer, and I don't really have much to say about him, really. So, anyway, these guys are pretty cool. I relate to Thomas Didymus and actually Honest Nathaniel, which I have a son I named Nathan, beautiful son, and both my sons. Everyone is like beautiful now for sure, but when it's your kids, it really hits home too because that's your kin, and that's part of understanding too. That every kin is kin to God. Everybody is kin to God. So that's God's children, all potential in there inside them. You're not talking to the outside, at least trying to reach the inside and make people question inside yourself. Oh, I have to look. Inside yourself, you're carrying around God fragment with you, and I don't know how long God's gonna let this world go before it says plenty in the Bible. I'm gonna create new heaven and new earth, and we don't know that time's gonna come. Could be soon, could be tomorrow, could be 1,000 years. Only the Father knows, and so it's really your choice. No one else is able to determine that for you. You all have your own choices and personal free will. That's sovereign, and that's what God didn't want a bunch of perfected slaves. Evidently, for he's got everything. What else could he need or want? But have people that he's given his own free will to love him with their own free will. It's like your kids and you teach them to do good, and then when they get it and they're like doing the dishes without even asking them, or doing some chores you didn't even ask them because you've instilled some good values in them, and they're like, maybe I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I know my parents will really appreciate it. And you might do it for selfish reasons sometimes, but eventually I don't think that's what really matters. You get past them, you praise them for everything they do well, and that's the point, is loving. And we got kids that don't always do the right things, and we don't always do the right things as parents, and that's part of the growth. There's always room for growth and learning. It's never complete, and if there's an eternity, of course it's not complete. So just want to tell everyone how nice it is to share and be not such a extrovert. Introvert. But yeah, meeting me in person would be a little different for sure. But definitely be adding to this timeline, and got some Samuel, Elijah, and listen, I just learned the other day that Elijah actually busting out of this material realm on some chariots of fire and stuff in front of Elisha, and handed him his like cloak, and then Elisha just busted the Jordan's the river, and then they just walked through it like that, and that correlates with having those love vibrations to the point that your will and God are so much to the point, I suppose, that you can, yeah, do amazing things and like that as one of the prophets of the Lord. That be amazing to talk to them people, and perhaps one day we'll be able to. And but this is definitely a time I will eventually go back down and correlate some more. And I got some more over there is my actual pictures, which if you go back you'll see those, and get some up close, some visual aid helpers and whatnot. But always adding to this, and this probably might just be a rough print. Depends how much time we got on here to make some more and get it out there, and hopefully people can start waking up and just feeling that soul energy, that spirituality. That's what we need so much. And I just want to spread the love, and God bless all you. I love you so much. All right, have a good night.